Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Terri and I'm a Philippine Travel Updates. In this video, we will answer some questions, do a tutorial on how to register to the most important online form that you need to complete before traveling to the Philippines. And you may be familiar with it now, that is called One Health Pass. One Health Pass is an online platform, no? You don't need to download an app, it's just a website where you register your information. And upon successful registration, you will receive a unique QR code. This unique QR code shall be presented upon check-in. Your airline will ask, have you registered to One Health Pass? You'll show them your QR code. And upon arrival in the Philippines, it is the number one thing that you will need to show to the airport staff. So One Health Pass is really important. No One Health Pass, no fly. So let's go ahead with the guidelines on how to register and what you need to do before you register. So let's start with first question, who needs to register? Do you need to register? All passengers traveling to the Philippines will need to register, regardless of age, regardless of vaccination status, regardless of visa status, whether you're a Filipino or foreign national, you need to register. If you have kids traveling with you, babies, they also need the One Health Pass QR code po. So please register your babies or children traveling with you. And it's per individual, so if you're family of 3, then there would be 3 One Health Pass QR codes. Each person must register on their own individually. Next is when to register. The website allows you to register not more than 3 days before your arrival in the Philippines. Arrival is the basis. Now, when you register, guys, you go to onehealthpass.com.ph. That is the only official government website you go to register for this online platform. Before we go ahead to onehealthpass.com.ph and register, we must prepare these things. First up, go and get your itinerary or ticket because they will ask for your travel details. Then go get your passport, your digital copy of your vaccination proof, vaccination card or certificate. So it can be a screenshot, a PDF copy, a JPG or a JPEG. Next, we have digital copy of your negative test result. It can either be PDF. Most of the times, labs send the negative test result through PDF formats naman, so you can use that. Then we have Philippine mobile number and address. Jennifer, I don't have a Philippine mobile number nor an address. For the Philippine mobile number, you can borrow the number of your family in the Philippines if you have one, a friend in the Philippines, and don't worry, there will be no OTP sent or codes, nothing like that. And for the address, if you are not going to be staying in a family or in a friend or in a residential address, you can use the hotel or the resort's address where you are going to stay in the Philippines. Let's say straight after the airport, you go to this hotel and stay, then use that hotel's address. Even if you're staying there for just a week or temporarily, it's important that you have to have a Philippine address because the website will not allow you to proceed if you don't have the address. So hotel, resort address is completely fine. Now, before we proceed, just one last thing, and this is very important. Jennifer, is this One Health Pass free? Yes, it is absolutely free. You don't need your credit card to pay. You don't have to pay. This is absolutely free as long as you go to the correct official government website, and that is onehealthpass.com.ph. Don't go to philippinesvisa.com or onlinevisa.com or philippinesentranceform.com or philippineshealthpass.com. These websites have in common one thing, that is they are paid services. They will ask for money for you to get registered to One Health Pass. Please, no, don't have to pay. Now let's go ahead and register. Go to onehealthpass.com.ph, click, and then there is a pop-up warning that international arriving passengers will no longer undergo hotel quarantine as long as they have a valid negative RT-PCR 48 hours or antigen test 24 hours before departure. And just a reminder that layovers are not counted as long as you stay inside the airport. Next up is you will not quarantine in the hotel as long as you have the accepted proof of vaccination, whether that's the national or state digital certificate or a WHO yellow card. So let's click OK on that and let's jump into it. Register, click 1, register, this blue thing here with 1. And then there's a pop-up warning again that says that all the information here is your responsibility. Alright, done and close. The first question is, when are you arriving in the Philippines? So go and check your itinerary. This is different from departure. When are you arriving in the Philippines? So you can register within 3 days before your arrival. So if you try to register more than 3 days, let's say your arrival is the 28th, today is the 24th, you try to register and the website will not allow you. It says, thank you for indicating the date of your arrival. However, registration is only allowed within 3 days before your actual arrival in the Philippines. So let's follow that 3-day before arrival requirement or rule. So you can do this an hour, even few hours before your flight. This only takes 5 to 10 minutes. So today is the 24th. My arrival in the Philippines is on the 26th. And my flight is on the 25th, so I am registering a day before my flight or 2 days before my arrival. Select type of port of entry in the Philippines. Of course, airport. Where is your airport of arrival? So that would be your first port of entry in the Philippines. So for example, if you have a flight Vancouver to Singapore to Manila to Cebu, where is your first port of entry, your airport of arrival in the Philippines? That would be Manila. That is your first port of entry. Next up, we have arriving as passenger or crew. Aircraft passenger, passport type, non-Philippine passport or Philippine passport holder. We are non-Philippine passport holder. There are 2 classifications under that option, that is foreign national or former Philippine national. Foreign tourists, yan, very easy, foreign national. For Filipinos who have been naturalized as foreign citizens abroad, they are former Philippine national. Yung nagkaroon ka na ng foreign citizenship, hindi ka nag-apply ng dual, naging former Filipino ka na. Anyways, next question is, have you been vaccinated for COVID-19? If we are adults, all foreign nationals aged 12 years old and above must be fully vaxxed to enter the Philippines. The only exception to this rule is children under 12. So, as we are all adults, we should be vaccinated. Let's answer yes. Now, what vaccination proof you have? Is it a WHO ICV? What does that look like? It's a yellow card. Let me show you. There you go. This is what it actually looks like. That's a yellow card. A yellow card. All right, let's go back. Next option is a national vaccine card and Philippine Vaxcert PH. Majority of you are vaccinated overseas. That would be your national vaccine card. Now, you have to select or find your country on this list. These countries are those with reciprocity in the Philippines, reciprocal agreement. So vaccination proof of these countries will be accepted in the Philippines. If you cannot find your country, then you should select other country not listed above. So for example, if you have a white CDC card, that would be national vaccine card, and then you need to find US. Done. If you are vaccinated in Canada, it's there. Just select. If you're vaccinated in the UK, it's there. Alright, so in the purpose of this video, I'll be choosing United States. I have a white CDC card. Next question. Okay, we are now in the Health Declaration platform where all the questions are located. Before we proceed, a very important note that all fields in red with asterisk must be filled out or answered. We cannot leave it blank. So for example, questions like last name, sex, civil status, there has to be an answer. You cannot leave it blank because your registration will not be successful if you leave these questions blank. So for example, let's start with our personal profile, our name. Okay. Next up, middle name. There is no red asterisk, so if you don't have a middle name, you can write NA. Next question is suffix, then birth date. Always start with the year. It's much simpler and easier. Then it will automatically show your age. Sex, male or female. Civil status, are you single, married, widowed, annulled? And guys, with the name, always use the name that is exactly on your passport. Okay? If you are married but you have a passport with single ka pa nun, then yun yung gagamitin mong pangalan. You should put the name as it's exactly written on your passport. Okay, keep going. Next is PhilHealth number. There is no red asterisk. You can just leave it blank. Nationality, it's in alphabetical order, so you should be able to find it easily. Bolivian, Botswanian, Canadian, so American would be here. PhilHealth number, leave it blank. There is no red asterisk. I'll just put a random passport number. Go get your passport and write your passport number. Next question is contact number. It should be a local Philippine number. You cannot use a number that is based overseas. It has to be a Philippine number. So if you have a family in the Philippines, borrow or ask for their number. If you have friends there, ask their number. Don't worry, there's no code sent here. It's not a big deal. And if you don't have any connection in the Philippines, then you can use the hotel's number. So for example, you're staying in a hotel where you're in the Philippines, you're staying in Conrad Hotel. You can go Conrad Hotel contact number. There, they have a number. You can use that number. Okay? Next, we have email. This is important because a copy of your One Health Pass QR code will be sent to your email. So put your email in there. Occupation, what do you do? Are you a retiree? A nurse? I don't know, guys. What do you do? Doctor, engineer? I'll just put retiree. Okay. Next, we have residence details. Where are you going after you finish all the processes at the airport? That's the address that you're going to put in here. So there are two options, residence, hotel, resort, or tourist destination. Residence, I know former Filipinos will be staying with their family in the Philippines, so residence. If you're staying with your girlfriend in the Philippines, residence. But if you guys are staying in a hotel, resort, or tourist destination, there's an option there. You just have to write the name of the hotel or resort, the province, the municipality or city or barangay. It can be overwhelming, these questions. So I suggest if you don't know the answer, ask your hotel. You can email them or you can Google it. So for example, this hotel, Conrad Hotel, is located in Pasay City, in Manila. You can inquire with the hotel or Google it. Okay, but for the purpose of this video, I know many are former Filipinos. I will choose residence. First question is house number. There's no red asterisk. I'll just leave it blank. If you have a house number, just put it there. Next is street, subdivision, or purok. Next is province. That is in alphabetical order. That is in alphabetical order too. Municipality, that is according to your province. Barangay. Next up is travel details. Go get your itinerary because we will need the information there. First question is country or territory of port of exit. Basically, where are you coming from originally? So for example, if you have a flight Los Angeles, then we'd lay over in Incheon, Korea to Manila. Where is your port of exit? Is it in the US or is it in Korea? It's in the US. That is where you are coming from originally. Okay, so your origin country, this is in alphabetical order. Next question is airline name. If you're flying with the same airline, easy. If you're flying with different airlines, you're going to put in the airline that you'll be flying to the Philippines. For example, if during my flight, I used from Sydney to Singapore via Singapore Airlines, and then from Singapore to Cebu was Scoot Airlines. Am I going to use Singapore Airlines or Scoot? Scoot, because that is the airline I'm going to use to fly to the Philippines. Okay? And same with the flight number. So you are going to use the flight number of the flight going to the Philippines. So just like I mentioned, the Scoot airline, because that's the flight that I used to fly to the Philippines. I hope that makes sense. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use Philippine Airlines. Next up, we have flight number. So go check it in your itinerary. I'm just going to select a flight number here. If you can't find the flight number in the list, you can use others and then type it here. Okay? Next up, we have date of departure. So when are you leaving? When is the start of your travel? So for me, I registered a day before my flight. Tomorrow is my flight, March 25. And then arrival, it's already there. Seat or bed number, if you already know, please put it in there. If you don't know, leave it blank because there is no red asterisk. Next question, type of traveler. For national, what category? So there are many options here. For former Filipinos, napakadali, balikbayan or returning Filipino or former Filipino. Same with your foreign spouse or foreign children. If they are balikbayan privilege po, you can also choose that option. There is also dual citizen here. There's resident, there is transit, there is tourist, there is shopping, wellness, visit friends or relatives, work or employment, transit, others. It's totally up to you. The easiest one here is tourist. Purpose of travel, tourism. Or you can say vacation. Or you can say to visit family. Or whatever. You guys already know what is your purpose. Then address abroad. I know this can be a little bit too much, this part. But yeah, the Philippines wants your address abroad. So just put it in there. I'm just going to put a random address here. Next question is, have you been vaccinated for COVID-19? Yes, of course, unless you're registering for a kid. We have to be fully vaxxed to enter the Philippines as foreign nationals. First dose, yes. Date of first dose, so go get your vaccination proof. And when did you get vaccinated? It should be written there. If you were vaccinated in 2020, that's still accepted, no worries. If you receive J&J single shot, that is totally fine. Then we have name of vaccine. There's many options there because the Philippines uses a lot of brands. And if you can't find your vaccine brand, there is an option, other type of vaccine. Okay, I'm going to choose Pfizer Comirnaty. Second dose, yes or no? Yes. Date of second dose, go check your vaccination proof. Name of the vaccine that you received. Then in this part, you have to upload your vaccination proof, whether that's the WHO ICV yellow card or national vaccination card of your country. So there is a list again here for reciprocity list. Just upload what you have, PDF, JPG or JPEG or PNG. A screenshot on your phone or a picture of your vaccination proof would be accepted format. So just upload that. I have here a white CDC card. Then I took a photo of it. As long as it is clear, then it should be fine. Next question is, do you have your negative test results? So some people registered before getting their results, and that is okay. Others waited for their result to be released before registering. That's better. So it's up to you, but the best thing, what I can recommend is to wait for your negative test result before you register. Because as of now, there is no way to go back to the website. Now, okay, do you have your negative test result, antigen or RT-PCR? Yes. So you need to upload the copy of your negative test result. It's still PDF, JPEG or JPEG format or PNG. This is mine. It's in GPG format. Then date of swab. When did you get swab? When were you tested? Of course, guys, comply with the 48 hours for RT-PCR and antigen test, 24 hours. As for me, I was tested today. My result was released within 12 hours. I paid RT-PCR. Next question is testing protocol in case COVID-19 testing is required. Testing laboratory. Jennifer, are we going to be tested upon arrival in the Philippines? No, you will not be tested, but they just asked this, and it's not a big deal. Just answer the question. There's the Lord's Grace, Philippine Airport Diagnostic Lab. There's JT, there's Intramuros, there's First Aid, there's Detoxicare. Just select. No biggie. Next is countries traveled or worked or visited and transited in the last 30 days. Where have you been? Right, first your origin country. And then if you have a layover, just put it in there. I'm flying with PAL, so there is no layover. Lucky me. Or if you have visited other countries for the last 30 days, just put it in there. Let's say I visited Canada, and I'm going to put it in there. Next question is exposure history. Have you been exposed to a probable or to a confirmed COVID case for the last 14 days? Yes or no or unknown. If you click yes, they will ask for the date of contact. No, if you haven't been exposed. Next question is clinical info. Have you been sick in the past 30 days? Have you developed any COVID symptoms such as fever, cough, weakness, fatigue, anorexia, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea? Just be honest. Yes or no? For me, it's a no. Comorbidity. Do you have an existing or history of cancer, diabetes, hypertension, lung disease, or any other comorbidity? You can type it here. I can't spell arthritis right now. Just be honest, no, don't worry about this. And that's all the questions. Now you just have to agree to the terms and conditions. The first is that the information you give is true, complete, and accurate. Next is that you authorize the Department of Health to collect or process the data you presented, okay? Next is that you confirm that if your negative test result is invalid or if your vaccination proof is found to be unacceptable, you could end up in quarantine. So you guys, just make sure you have the valid and complete documents, and don't worry, you will not quarantine as long as you have it. Next question is, next statement is, I am fully aware that I can be held criminally liable for any failure to be honest. Now, if you lie, if you break the rules, easy peasy, we are rule-abiding people here. So that's it. We just tick the check mark because we attest that all information is true and correct. Now we have to copy the CAPTCHA. So what is exactly written on this white box, you should copy that. Okay, and I think to just double check everything that you have answered all questions with red asterisk and that all spellings are correct, especially your name. It's almost impossible now to go back and correct this. So please get it right for the first time. Okay, now question, if you have a new arrival date, do you have to make a new registration? Yes. Now let's click submit. Drum rolls. Yay! We are registered. Upon aircraft disembarkation, proceed to BOQ Express Lane because we are fully vaccinated. It's Express Lane, no more quarantine. So they will scan this QR code. This is the holy grail here. Please screenshot, make a copy of this straight away. But you will also receive this in your email. My suggestion is to make a copy ASAP. So it has your name, your quarantine facility, it's empty because you are fully vaxxed, no quarantine. Your date you submitted this, seat number is empty because we didn't write any. Our report of entry, our email, our address or residence in the Philippines, everything is there. And that's really it. Let me check on the email if I have already received it on my email. Let's see. Yes, I have received it already on my email. There you go. That is my registration. So you can save this on your phone or you can print this out. It's totally up to you. And this is what you need to present on your airline and upon arrival in the Philippines. So I hope this video helped you. Please leave a like on the video. Share this to anyone who is having difficulty registering to One Health Pass. Stay safe, you all, and God bless. See you in another travel update.